Welcome to part 3 of JFK and the Civil Rights Movement. Now we're going to look at the Berlin crisis. A couple of months after the embarrassment of the Bay of Pigs, Kennedy is going to actually meet with Nikita Khrushchev in Vienna. They'll meet on June 4th, 1961. Right? The topics that they're going to discuss in Vienna are going to be Berlin, nuclear testing, and nuclear disarmament. Right? Now, Kennedy's own advisors are going to warn him, do not get into a sparring match with Khrushchev. He loves to do that. He lives on that. He's an expert arguer. He will talk you into a corner. And unfortunately, Kennedy doesn't take his advice, right? And Khrushchev will really effectively bully Kennedy this entire conference, right? Constantly talking him in circles and things like that, right? Finally, when the issue of Berlin comes up, Kennedy will finally take a stand against Khrushchev. Khrushchev will describe West Berlin as a bone in my throat that must be extracted, and even went so far as suggesting to not just close off West Berlin, but perhaps roll tanks in there and just be done with it, right? The response of Kennedy was, I would consider that the same as a nuclear strike against the United States, and I will respond in kind. So he basically tells him, says, look, if you attack West Berlin, I am going to attack you with our entire full nuclear arsenal, right? Berlin has become a really huge problem for the Russians and those second world states, right? East Germany being one of them, right? You have people that keep using West Berlin as a conduit to escape to the West, and it gotten bad. By July of 1961, you have 1,000 East Germans escaping into West Berlin each and every day, right? And these aren't just refugees. These are skilled laborers, right? These are doctors. These are engineers and architects, right? By August, it had increased to 2,500 per day. It had gotten so bad that East Germany is going to issue a ukase, an executive decree, on August 13th. At 2 a.m. August 13th, 1961, they're going to call for the closure of the borders all the way around West Berlin. Right? Streets are going to be jackhammered, barbed wire is going to be laid down, and the groundwork is going to be laid for what is going to become the Berlin Wall, right? A symbol of the Cold War right up until towards the end of it, right? Kennedy will respond by sending Lyndon Baines Johnson, his vice president, to Berlin on August 19th to give a speech voicing the U.S. support for West Berlin. He will follow that up with this famous speech he'll give in Berlin himself later on. He'll also send 15 additional U.S. troops to be stationed in West Berlin as a show of force to challenge Khrushchev. Khrushchev's response to this actually will be the detonation of the testing of the largest nuclear weapon ever set off, Tsar Bomba, which measured somewhere between 50 and 52 megatons, right? So what Khrushchev has ultimately decided here, though, is that Kennedy is not going to budge on West Berlin and is willing to go to war for it. So he's not going to try and eradicate West Berlin. He's going to try to permanently isolate it.